This is your host, Daryl M.Brooks. I'm excited. We're live, and we have coming up Tammy Hillary Lee from out of New York, and she's coming on the show, and she is a patriot out of New York City, a freedom fighter, and she knows about the issues. We're going to be talking about the biased media, what they're doing to our president, what they're doing to our country, and also we're going to talk about the Second Amendment. So, we're going to get started. We got Tammy Hillary Lee is coming on, and hey, Mark, how you doing? And so she's coming on in a minute. She's been invited, and she's coming on to talk about a lot of serious issues to talk about in this country. And it's been a great day. I had Floyd Wilson on. He came on, and I had some other individuals that came on, Van Woolley. So I'm doing 3 shows a day, and yeah, I'm going to be the hardest working host on Facebook Live in New Jersey. So yes. And so this is the host of the show, Daryl M.Brooks. We have Tammy Hillary Lee's coming on, and we're going to talk about a lot of different issues, and she is well versed, very opinionated. Facebook talk, she does Facebook Live, she does talk radio, she's been all around the country, and she's based out of New York City. Well, New York, I don't know if New York City, but New York. And so we're going to have Tammy Hillary Lee come on, and I know a lot of you guys are excited. And, you know, I think she's the second female I've had on the show. And, you know, and it's going to be exciting. So I'm going to send something to Tammy out there. And Tammy, Hillary Lee, we're going to ask you to come on, add Tammy. Hey, Tammy. Are you there? We're going to adding you on, and she's coming on in a few minutes. Hey, girl, how you doing?
How are you?
Oh, my God.
Hi,
Beautiful.
how are you?
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you,
yeah.
sir.
Yes. You know, I was telling a lot of people about you, and, you know, they were excited. You know, and you're from New York City, and you're a patriot.
Oh.
You know, it's kind of difficult from New York City because I think New York City is probably one of the most controlled state in America.
Yes, New York or
Yes.
New York City?
New York City.
Yes. Well, you have to figure, and I look at New York City like this. New York City is the heart of this beast, right? Mm-hmm. Which is New York, California, all of these states, right? I consider New York City one of those big, dark beating hearts for all of these liberals. That's just my opinion. And I'm a Jersey girl, mind you. I'm not dissing New York. I love New York. What's that?
What part of Jersey?
You know what? Not far from Trenton, I can tell you that.
Wow, okay.
A little bit north. I was born and raised in Washington Borough, which is probably 40 minutes maybe north of Trenton.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I'm a Jersey girl.
All right. So, you know, during the election, Tammy Hillary Lee, I'm sure when they said lock her up, you know, you're like, oh my God, you know, Hillary up, and your middle name was Hillary. You know.
Well, let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you only quickly because Fascist Book, my name was actually Tammy Never Hillary Lee.
Okay.
Then I got a notification this past summer, and Facebook said, no, you can't do that. So they actually gave me no choice. They dropped off the Hillary or the Never, and they left it Hillary, and they won't let me change it.
Wow.
So isn't that's like a punch right in the.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. So
yeah.
You know, I wanted to have you on the show because, you know, somebody said, you know, check out Tammy Hillary, and I've seen you before on some of the things you did, and you know, someone said check you out, and I checked you out. So like, wow, I gotta have you on the show. So I contacted you today, and I was like, you know, you have to come on my show. You have to come on the show. There are people who watch me, who are listening to me. You know, I'm sure they've heard of you, of some they not have heard, but I had to have you on. You know, you were exciting. You're very opinionated. So tell me, you know, let's talk about this liberal media bias that they have all those going around the country. You got CNN. We got MSNBC, we got all of these stations and hosts that are talking about, you know, all they want to do is try to destroy our president. And for me, when they try to destroy the president, they're trying to destroy the country.
Correct. Correct. I mean, and it goes so much further too, besides, your typical CNN and MSNBC. I mean, you're talking every news station, every local station, every independent reporter, every writer or author or any contributor. I mean, it is at every single level that you can imagine as far as anything connected to media. You know, I hate Facebook, okay? But at the same time, I love it because without it, imagine where we would really be as far as truth and voices and fake news.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it is out there. I mean, I myself have been a victim of it. I myself have seen it and watched it unfold. I mean, I've been to some of these rallies that you see all over nationwide. I was there. I was there. And I watch how their story unfolds. And it just blows my mind. The things that the tales and their portrayal of it, So they twist everything. It's like a big pretzel out there.
I was in Trenton, and during that first rally, the women's rally march they had in Washington, I was on they had a rally in Trenton, New Jersey, and I was on the River Line, so they all was all on the train. So this young lady said, she was definitely far left liberal. She said, "I wish someone would assassinate our president." And I asked her, well, if they assassinate the president, that means that his sons and his daughters will be fatherless.
Right.
And I asked her, I said, "Do you really want that to happen?" She says, "Oh, why not? I don't care. He has to die." And I'm like, wow. The thinking of the liberal left, that a woman she's got to be far left to say something like that, and say that she wants our president to be dead.
That honestly, that blows my mind. And I'm assuming you probably kept pretty decent composure, even though you're a Jersey boy. Me, I probably would have been all over it would have been on the news what I would have done.
Well, I was on a train with about 100. I was the only one by myself, and I was on a train about 100 of them. So if I'd acted up, might have acted.
You had to be a little careful.
Yeah. So, but it just bothers me when the media tell these lies all the time, and there are people who are not politically educated, and so they've been told all this over and over. He stole the election. Hillary really won. She won by the popularity vote. She's done, she's done this, and Trump has basically, he stole the election.
Right. That, and I mean, to know the left, right, and people who really know the left and know liberals and know their way of thinking, okay, and how these messages get played through media and played through. I mean, it's even in schools, it's everywhere. The average person who really doesn't sit and do what, say, you and I do, which is do our homework, read things, fact check. We're seeing things in the world. To a common person, when you hear that every day on your news, you're going to believe it, because that repetition, that's just another way of a subliminal message. It's repetition. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's honestly, it's terrible. I'm tired of watching Hillary run around the world crying in her soup about how she lost and she should have won. You know what I mean? Like, that's old. We need to move on from that. She needs to go and read a book in the woods, do whatever she's got to do. I'm just saying. Look, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Now, we talked earlier, and you said you went around the country these 3 or 4 times. Tell me about that experience. Tell the Facebook watchers.
Well, I mean, I went back and forth a few times. I went out and participated in Las Vegas for the Stand Support Benefit Rally for Lavoie and the Bundy trial. Okay, Finicum, all of them. A group of us at that time, I was working with American Freedom Keepers, AFK. So we were kind of, asked to come out and stand in support and bring our members and do what we could. So, obviously I jumped on that chance. I mean, to me, that's a great honor. It was a great honor to be there, to listen to those speakers, and just be a part of something so amazing, you know. So that was one trip that I had gone out to Las Vegas for. I went out to Alvin, Texas to help after Harvey. Went out there for about 5 weeks and you know, volunteered and did what we could down in Texas. We had a group of people down there too. Um, I've been, I've been a lot of East Coast things. You know, Gettysburg, went to Gettysburg rally. I've been to Boston 3 times for all the big Boston rallies. Charlottesville, I was in Charlottesville. So, you know, it's doing a lot of things. I mean, I do a lot of things locally too. Don't get me wrong. I do a lot of things in New York State. You know, we do, every year we do a food drive for the veterans, and we've done overpasses for America, flag waving rallies and all that. So I guess you could say I've been pretty active all over, not just out west, but you know, wherever I can be, whenever somebody calls and says, hey, can you make it? Can you bring people? Can you do whatever? I'm just ready to do what I can, you know? So that's what I do.
So,
Yeah.
how's it been as being a patriot, a female patriot? You know, and yeah, because you know that's one of the things. You know, how's that been for you? Wow,
You know what?
tough question.
You know what it is? I would have to say it's kind of like a marriage. Okay, yeah. It has good times, has bad, rich or poor, sickness and health. That's what it is to me. That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'm not going to say it was all good, but it wasn't all bad. It's been tough. I'm not going to lie. You know, I'm not somebody who sugarcoats a lot of things. So I'll be honest if I can. I'll be frank with you. It's been very difficult. Okay, there's a lot that you have to deal with, especially being a woman. You know, and it's hard. It's hard being out there and doing everything that the men are supposed to do or expected to do, and you're right there with them. And I get a lot of amazing support, but I get a lot of ridicule. So it's very bittersweet. It's tough. I'll be honest with you. You have to have tough skin if you are a lady, an active public figure out there at the rallies lady, because it is not for the weak at all.
Yeah. What type of ridicule are you getting? I mean, what are they saying?
Well, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, what it would remind you of, like if you were back in high school, you know, locker room stuff, you know,
locker room talk.
Yeah, you know, typical. It's, you know, it's one of the, I'm 40 years old. Okay. I'm 40 years old. You know, I left that kind of stuff kind of back in my younger days, but you know, being out here and doing what I do, you know, it's the, you know, just rumors and just everything you could expect from 15-year-olds, basically. Let's just be nice and we'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. You know, so, you know, what are some of the most passionate issues to you right now that are happening?
Honestly, man, first of all, the schools. And I say the schools, and don't get me wrong, and I have one or two extremely passionate things, but to me right now, especially being out at one or two of these Second Amendment rallies where the kids walked out against the Second Amendment, watching these things unfold on TV. I watch a lot of my friends on the West Coast. I don't know if you guys are aware of Hareem or any of those folks out there. I watch these live streams of what's going on out in this world, and the schools scare me. Colleges scare me. Elementary schools. What is going on out there scares me. So for me, that's really kind of become a big passion. And the Second Amendment is now tying into that, which is another passion of mine and many patriots out here, is preserving our Second Amendment. But if you notice, it has really gotten tied into schools. And I don't know if anybody is picking up on that. So for me, my two main things are now really interlocked, because we have a lot going on with schools and school shootings and bullying. And we are having our Second Amendment severely attacked. So if I had to kind of put it on a chart, it would be schools, then Second Amendment.
Yeah.
As far as preservation.
One of the things that I've had on the show talked about the educational system. When you have kids that are graduating from the 12th grade with a fourth, fifth grade math reading level,
Hmm.
all their interactions are the media on YouTube, on Facebook, and it's not telling them the whole truth. And
Right.
so when it comes to the Constitution, they're not being taught the Constitution. It's
No.
definitely not the Second Amendment. And I had Floyd Wilson on earlier, and we talked about the NRA.
Yes.
And
Yep.
he's from out of Trenton, I mean, out of New Jersey, out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. And I have had like Mark Cheeseman on the part of NRA in New Jersey. And the idea is that the NRA is just getting this bad rap and which everything so is there's no response to individuals that are carrying these crazy mass shootings either in the school system schools or the streets of Chicago, Trenton, New York City, all these different areas.
Right.
There's always not their fault but the NRA fault,
Right.
and it just kind of like bothers me. What are people thinking, and why is the media putting such a bad rap on the NRA and not the ones who have these guns, who are out there committing crimes? I mean, doesn't
Right.
that bother you?
It does bother me. But if you and I try to explain to people, the left wants to push the idea that we are a democracy, and democracy means majority rules.
Yes.
The liberals also like to categorize, because when you put people in a category or a group, they are not protected under Constitution are, that is individual rights. So they like to push the idea onto a group. They take it away from the individual. They take that responsibility away from the individual and they throw it onto these groups. And you have so many people out there that are so blind that are like, wow, yeah, they're right, you know? And because they want to push a democracy type of agenda, they figure the more people they get against the NRA, the more likely they are to strip more away from that Second Amendment. And you made a really good point when you had said just a few minutes ago, they're not teaching the Constitution in schools. And I can tell you that you are 1,000% correct, because when I had gone to Albany a few weeks ago, I had live streamed the students doing their walkout from all over the Capital District here. And I had the opportunity. I actually went into the crowd with the students when they started walking, and I started asking them questions and interviewing them. And I said to, and it's there, you can see it. And I said to these kids, I said, well, you're here and you're protesting the Second Amendment. I said, what are your rights? Well, we have a right to assemble and free speech. And I said, what are your constitutional rights? Because you're trying to tell me about the Second Amendment and how adults and this and that. I said, they could not tell me. And then they finally said, well, we don't know because they don't even teach us that in school. Our teacher didn't tell us what to say. Wow. And I'm like, it's clear as day, people. It's right here in front of your faces. And that's what really bothered me, because it wasn't something I was watching on TV. I wasn't watching somebody else's local kids. I wasn't watching something. It was in my own town. These schools are right around the corner. And that's what these kids are saying. Well, our teacher didn't tell us what to say, and we don't learn the Constitution. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you're going to rally against something that you don't even understand. Yeah. It's a very sick game that the left is playing on our kids, and we're not doing enough to stop it.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And one of the things that I talked about early in a couple of the shows, is that what the media has done, what's on television, the movies, the video games, and it's all. I was watching a documentary a couple of days ago. This whole social Marxism. How they want to put it in the video games, they want to put it on television, they want it in the movies, the talk shows, what's on Facebook, what's on YouTube, and
right.
And people aren't really understanding what's happening. They kind of know something is wrong, but they just can't put their finger on it.
Sure, absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's normalization. When you normalize something, you become numb to it. It's like what's that commercial? When you become nose blind, you know, there's a bad smell in your house, and eventually you don't even notice it, right? But the neighbor comes over, and the neighbor's like, whoa, something needs, your garbage stinks, something. You don't even notice it. That is normalization. You get so used to something that you don't even see it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like being a hoarder. How do you not see everything closing in on you? Parents are not paying attention. Parents are not paying attention, and a lot of people are not taking things seriously. I talk to so many people that are on the left, and they're just like, oh, you know, you're so dramatic, and why do you worry so much about this stuff, and it doesn't matter. And I'm thinking, are we ever going to get through, you know? And those are the things that I worry about, you know.
Wow. And you know, and some of the things, I worry about is, it's the whole thing of young kids that are coming out of high school. You got elementary, junior high school, they're coming out and they know actually nothing. So I'm there are people who talk about certain things that are very, very afraid of what could happen. You're talking about 10, 15, 20 years from now, when you have
Yeah.
a number of thousands and millions of kids who aren't taught the Constitution, who know nothing about what's going on, who are politically, they're on the left, and it's going to be a big problem in the next 10 to 15 years. Now, what do you think should happen, even in our school system, even a part of the state in this country? What do you think that should take place to change these young kids' minds?
I mean, you know what, I ask myself all the time, like, what can we actually do? I don't, what to do as far as what we should do as a community to try to ward this off. We've got to get into schools. You know what, I remember being a kid and being in, oh, I don't even know, probably like third or fourth grade. And I remember there being days where parents would just come in and they would sit at the back of the class and they would watch any part of the day they wanted in their students or, you know, child's classroom. You know, maybe we need to start doing that. Maybe we need to start getting parents back in and sitting in their kids' classroom and seeing what's going on and watching what's going on. We need to get in and start taking over school boards and start checking out curriculums and figuring it. What the heck are we allowing our kids to be taught? You know what I mean? That's honestly, that's really what's going to help. We can fight about, you know, loss of freedom of speech, you know, don't take our guns, you know, all of this stuff, but none of that fight is going to matter if we don't have any soldiers bringing up the rear. If these kids have no clue, they have no clue what's at stake. They have no clue what they've already lost. They do not know.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right. And it's one of the things that I'm watching. I like to watch Glenn Beck, and he talks about that kind of service workers generation where they're not able to do certain things because they're not educated enough. There's millions of jobs out there. When you have a 12th grader that can barely read or barely write, or do any type of math, and they're making $12 an hour, $11 an hour, and that's acceptable to them.
Right.
And it just kind of bothers me. And one of the things that we talked about earlier on the show with the two other guys in the past couple shows is talking about maybe we need another type of political educational revolution in our country, because it seems to me that it's not getting any better. It's not getting
Right.
and it's not getting better in the inner cities or the suburbs, black or white, rich or poor.
No, it's not. And it's not intended to. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the problem. It's not intended to, because the school systems are just the government's way of ensuring that whether we like it or not, their kids are going to do what the government says is the right thing to do. And it doesn't see race or ethnicity or rich or poor. It doesn't matter to them,
Yeah.
because we're all sheep in this big herd, and they don't care where you come from, as long as you believe everything that they tell you and you do exactly what they want you to do. That's the goal for them, you know.
Yeah. Now, is there any other things that you are definitely passionate about what's happening in our country? You talked about education. What's what other things are you passionate about? And because I know there's a lot of people that really can understand what some of the definitely things that you're talking about.
Excuse me. It's I have so many things. I mean, obviously, I am not a fan of illegal immigration. I don't make that. I make that very known. Excuse me. Um, I'm having a huge issue with things and topics like that. Uh, I don't, and I think anybody can agree. At least anybody probably watching this feed can agree. Come here, right, and pay your dues and do it the right way. I just, first of all, we are overpopulated. I'm sorry, and don't get me wrong. This is my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I feel we are overpopulated. What is going to happen when we are so, we have people living on the streets. They don't have homes. Granted, they don't have education, but instead of giving everything that we have to these people that are coming in, legal or not, we need to start taking care of some other things, like maybe veterans. I'm not a fan of illegal immigration. Um, here's the thing, and a lot of people don't know this. I don't talk much about this part of it, but I actually know both sides of immigration. I know the legal way because I'm very close to somebody who is going through this process as we speak, a very young girl. She lives in Venezuela, right outside of Caracas. It's a crazy war zone. Mm-hmm. So I know her. I know her story. I know her personally. Then I also have the other end of it, which is the ICE end of it. Nobody knows this, and I'll talk about this here now. Somebody in my family was married to an illegal, and he was deported not very long ago. So I'm watching that side of it. I'm watching what's going on to my family member, to her children, and that whole process. So a lot of times I'll have people say to me, well, Tammy, you have such a big opinion about something, and I want to say to them, well, yeah, because I have actual personal experiences of both sides of this. And I still feel if you are illegal, you need to go home and come back and do it the right way. Yes. Because I see it being done by a very brave young girl in Venezuela. She chose to go home and come back and do it the right way, knowing she was going home in a time where there was a lot of war going on. And to me, I'm like, don't tell me anything different, because I see it with my own eyes. I see it.
Yeah, you're definitely right. One of the things that we have as a governor here, Phil Murphy, and what he's trying to do is the idea of giving illegal immigrants, all legal immigrants, free education, free college education, where we have, Americans right here in New Jersey who can't afford to go to college, or just paying thousands in student loans, and they're struggling to get a college education.
Right.
And here we have a governor, a Democratic governor, who wants to give free college education to illegal immigrants. I mean, it's like, when people discuss that, like, what type of world we live in, yeah. What is, and it's something wrong with,
yeah.
I mean, we know that it's something wrong with the Democrats, but also something wrong with the Republicans who are not fighting this either, and challenge it. And organizations say, listen, something is wrong with this picture. We have to get college students, we have to get high school students, we have to get parents who can't afford their kids to go to college, who can't afford the kids to go to college, and make them stand up. They have to stand up. But yeah. It's like when people talk about this, what type of world are we living in when illegals get free college education and American citizens who are struggling every day, and the money he's paying for these college education are tax dollars.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, illegals are getting what I call free indoctrination. Okay. They call it education. I call it indoctrination. Why not bring a bunch of people over here, right, who are so happy to be here legally or not, and let's force upon them what we want them to learn. Mm-hmm. Give it to them for free. Let's ensure some votes for the future, because we just gave you stuff. We just gave you a lot of free stuff. I mean, if you kind of think about it in a way, it kind of makes a lot of, you're kind of like, wow,
sense.
that's
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
You take the American people who are citizens, who are paying into this system, who owe, the government owns their lives with taxes. So why give them anything more?
Yeah.
Right? Why bother? You're already a slave to the machine. I call it a machine. So then you bring in illegals and give them some free indoctrination, and you've just sealed the deal. Now we're lucky right now that we have Trump, and we'll be lucky in 2020 when he wins again. But ask yourself, what happens after him?
Yeah.
When all of these people are voting, legal or not, how many millions of illegals are coming in? It's part of their machine. It's steps and processes, and they execute it rather well.
Yeah, you're definitely right. One of the things that we're talking about the sanctuary states, and we're doing a show tomorrow on the sanctuary states, how to challenge the sanctuary states,
Yeah.
all across the country. You know, and we're going to be talking about the issue that Trump has the power to lock up any mayor
Yeah.
he wants to, who against ICE, trying to stop ICE from going in their cities, disruption, and Trump has the power. Our Attorney General has the power. Session has the power. Now,
Right.
will they use that power? And that's what some of the discussion we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Will Trump use that power to any mayor, any part of the country that will support sanctuary cities, or maybe even a governor who supports sanctuary states? Can he lock them up? And that's important to know.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's like you want to, we're looking at the fear of mayors and the fear of governors who just want to do everything they can, these liberal progressive policies that are taking this country down a road that may not return.
Right.
Yeah, and so what do you think about these issues of the governor and who are doing these things, and also about Trump building a wall? I really would love to see that wall built. You think it'll happen?
You know what? I think here's the thing with him. I think he gets what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants a wall, and he knows the American people want a wall, the
Yeah.
people that voted for him, we're going to get a wall. I believe that. I would like a wall. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you watch these videos online again, of course, of people just hopping and popping over the fence. It's like a joke. It is like a
over
joke.
the fence, under the fence,
Pulling it, and it's like you watch those, or how about you watch what's been going on with Border Patrol, and there's a lot going on that they're not even reporting. They're not good. They don't bring that to us because they don't want to rile up the troops, so to speak. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, whoever in this world does not want a safe country, there's something very wrong with you. Very wrong with you. Am I for a wall? I'm absolutely for it. If I could go down there and work on it, I would, for free.
Oh, wow.
I'll go.
Wow. Well, you know, dealing with that issue, we're doing a RV tour of all the cities in New Jersey, the major cities: Trenton, Camden, Newark, Jersey City, Elizabeth, Atlantic City. We're doing
Wow.
Plainfield. We're doing a lot of different areas, and we're starting June 16th. Where we're going to talk about the Second Amendment. We're going to talk about the Constitution. We're going to pass out Declaration of Independence constitutions. We're going to talk about illegal immigration. We're going to talk about education, and we're going to do a Facebook Live. We're going to talk. We're going into the barbershops. We're going into the hood. All these different places where the liberal Democrats have their stronghold, and exactly talk to the people about what do you believe in? Why are you supporting the Democrats that have nothing but turning back on you, failed you in education, allow illegal immigrants to come here and take your jobs? And we got people like Lightfoot, the Oath Keepers, different organizations are going to be involved. And I definitely would like have you involved. Because you're very articulate. You know the issues, and we need a female. You know, we've got a bunch of guys, but we need, yes, yes,
What?
we need a female to be a part of this because you know it's not just men that have an issue; it's also women in these inner city areas. Whether they're
Right.
inner city or suburb, working poor people that, but they still can vote. They still can get a gun, and they're
Yes.
realizing right now that they can't have a gun. The government has told them, the city cops has told them, wait for the police, call the cops. Something goes wrong, call the cops.
And it's so wrong. Every person has a right to protect themselves.
Yes, a natural
That is
God
so
given
wrong.
right.
You know, I would love to be able to come in and do some of that with you. I would consider that an honor, to be able to do that with you. I know a lot of the Oath Keepers and a lot of the Lightfoots. They're good groups too, solid people. And I think that this is something that kind of needs to happen. Like, I like the thought of this. I like the thought of doing this. Do you know how many people don't get heard? I always tell everybody, it doesn't matter how big or small or popular or rich, everybody has a voice.
Yeah,
Everybody matters. This
yeah.
is the thing that we have to start doing. Let's go and talk to the people that nobody knows. People forget. Let's do that.
Mhm.
Everybody deserves to be heard. Opinions, whether we agree or not, I want to hear you. You know what I mean? I love this idea. I think this is a great idea.
You know, because you know when we go into these areas, there's inner city and suburb people who are black or white
Yeah,
who are struggling and with the educational system that they're struggling. Uh, they know nothing about the Constitution. You know, we want to give the Constitution out. We want to talk
I
to them
love
about
it.
the Constitution. We want to talk
Right.
about, yeah. And so you know the idea is there has to become a big pushback,
Mm-hmm.
a challenging of the system. You know, and my hero Martin Luther King was, you know, he promoted nonviolent civil disobedience, direct action. We need some direct action to go into
Yeah.
these areas, and that's what it's all about. And it's a necessary tour.
Mm-hmm.
It's a necessary need to go in these areas because people need to know that there is a constitution, there is a Second Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
You can speak out about illegal immigration. You have a voice. You have
Yes.
a vote. You can speak
Yes.
out about your educational system because your educational system has failed you. And this is why the system and this is why things are the way it is right now. You know, and some people are just happy the way it is. I mean, I'm sure you've seen that.
Oh, yeah. I see it a lot. The humdum, whatever. It doesn't. I always say to people, it never affects you until it touches you directly,
Yeah.
and then you kind of wake up and look around, and you're trying to get your bearings, and we have to eliminate that. And again, this is something I can support 100% because people need to be heard, but they need to feel like they're respected enough to be
Mm-hmm.
heard, but to also, do you care about so and so's education? Yes, I do. Do you understand? A lot of people are beaten down to where they feel like they're just neglected and not respected. And that's not right. And that closes a lot of minds and that shuts people down.
Mm-hmm.
And to go into these communities, I think is kind of, maybe it can kindle a little bit of hope and a little bit of, hey, I matter too. I'm here. Somebody cares about what I think and what I feel, and I want to listen to them. I think it's a great idea.
You know, and one of the things that we have involved with this group is called the Constitutional Republicans, and you know they're a strong organization, and they're the kind of the guidance that behind the scenes that are going to be working with us, and you know to talk about the Constitution. You know, we're going to get a bullhorn. And we're going to have a Facebook Live, and we're going to interview people, going, like I said, going to the barbershop, going into the shopping centers, going to
Right.
certain areas and asking them some serious questions. You know, why are you still voting for the same politicians, Democratic Party have done nothing but turn their back on you. And a lot of them feel because the Republicans haven't came into those areas. You know, they just say, well, we'll leave those to the
Right.
Democratic Party. and that's a shame because people are when you go into the inner city, for me, when I ask an African American, who's a Democrat, well, do you believe in the Second Amendment? You believe that you should have a gun to protect your family, protect your property? They say yes. So why do you keep voting for the same Democrat that tells you who is against that?
Right.
Who's against these policies? Why do they tell you, well, the cops if someone's breaking into your home, you can't have protection.
Right.
You can't protect your family. And Tammy, it's for me, it's like a God-given right to protect yourself and your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's everybody's right. That's what we have to express. It's everybody's right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's right to protect themselves and to feel safe. I mean, when I was interviewing those students in Albany again, and I had asked this girl, well, what would you do if somebody broke into your home?
Mm-hmm.
And it was all these, and I'm like, okay, you realize that is not going to stop somebody, a security system is not going to stop somebody from burglarizing your home, possibly raping you or your family. What are you going to do?
Yes.
I don't know if you saw the video or not. I should leave it to your viewers to go and watch her response because it will blow you away. Mm-hmm. I literally had to kind of stop the interview. I stepped back from the rally and I actually went back to my car because that's how profound her statement was. It blew my mind.
One of the things that has happened and I think it was in Philadelphia. There's a story that happened in Philadelphia where a burglar had broken into a house, went through the window, and I think the grandmother had to be in her 60s. She went up and got the gun and started shooting at the burglar, and the burglar jumped out the window, went to the hospital, and I think he called the cops on the grandmother.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, this is a crazy world. But the idea is like, that gun that she had protected her.
Yeah.
And that burglar could have went inside the house, robbed her, raped her, killed her.
Yeah.
She could have had a chance to call 911.
Right.
But that gun, that gun was the thing, the key from stopping, from even going up the steps. And I tell the story. My family's from the South, Tammy, and my grandmother and my uncles, they had guns, but they were Democrats. They had guns. They had rifles. My grandmother had a rifle and a shotgun. A Christian woman went to church, took me to church 5 days a week. And on Sunday, I went to church maybe 3 times on a Sunday.
Wow.
But she believed in that she had that peacemaker. She believed if someone came into that house and it wasn't a voice that she knew, all hell of the power of Jesus' name, all hell was going to break loose in that house.
Right.
But if she was up here, they probably would have told her, no, you don't need a gun. But down in the South, it was something that she knew that it was God-given right to protect herself. And it was common sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It should be common sense, and absolutely. The thing is they don't call it a peacemaker for nothing. If you don't give somebody a consequence to a crime, well then to me, I'm thinking to myself now. Let me put myself into the shoes of somebody that's going to rob somebody. Mm-hmm. If I thought for a second, boy, there's like a 50-50 chance I'm probably going to get shot, I'm definitely thinking twice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I hate to like bring up the old eye for an eye type of whatever, but sometimes I wonder if they brought that back to a degree on certain crimes. Mm-hmm. I think it would help. I think it would help a lot. Do unto others as you do unto yourself. That's kind of, and I sit and I think to myself, geez, I know if I was somebody who was about to rob somebody or rape somebody or, do whatever, I would have to sit and think, well, would I want that done to me? Because if I get caught, guess what?
Yeah.
That's happening. So I think it would I'm thinking to myself, it's going to stop a lot of people. And maybe, you know, maybe someday we can do something like that, because let's face it, it's not going to get any better, because a criminal will always get a gun. That's how it is. And if we can't all play with the same toys, something's not right here.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And even out of the town of St. Mary's, Georgia, no one broke in the houses down there, because they all knew they had a gun. They had the peacemaker. They had a gun
Right.
or a shotgun or a handgun. But when you look at what's guns in America, and you look at what England has done. England has took all the guns away.
Right.
Now they have a big problem with a knife.
Yeah.
Knives. So I guess they're gonna take all the knives away from people.
Right.
And
Right.
and here the people that they got rid of the guns. Yeah. That's
Next thing you know, my mail opener
yes.
is going to be outlawed.
I mean, and that's the craziness, of to me the liberal left, the progressive
Sure.
thinking, who thinking like Phil Murphy, our governor, and a lot of governors around the country and mayors, that I know best. I'm smarter.
Right.
I went to Harvard. I went to Cornell. I was a top student, so I know better. What's best for my people, for my voters.
Right.
And that's a crazy way of thinking.
Right. But it's control.
Yeah.
When it comes, it's all control. And it's easy for these people to sit there and say all these things while they live in these great, big, huge, beautiful houses that have big fences and big walls and security and all. It's easy for them to dictate somebody else's life because it doesn't affect or touch them. Let me tell you, that's hypocrisy if you've ever seen it. Let these people come out of their homes. Come on out. And I want you to come and stay a weekend or two where I live. Let's do that. And let's see how they feel, and maybe they may change their minds. Let's see how they feel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not so politically correct sometimes, I suppose.
No. You know what? You're a great opinionist, and you know the issues, and I definitely want you on the on Fire Tour. And I would like all the people that are watching, please go to the GoFundMe on Fire Tour, and you get to see all about the On Fire Tour and about what we're doing. Please support it. Go to it. Go to the website. You get to see all the individuals who are going to participate. And I'm going to do first thing in the morning. Put your name on there. Put your picture on there. And because the idea is that it's men going into these communities, but it's also, I think we need a woman to talk to other women, because there's women out there who have some serious issues, who are single mothers, who have nothing to protect themselves, and need to know that they have a right to the Second Amendment. They have a right to have a gun in them. If they don't have a violent criminal record, they can have a gun in their house. And a lot of people, we hear the politicians, like I said, wait till the police, come. Please sell your gun go to the church, do a buyback. Buyback. Here's $200. We'll give you $200 and a Target gift card.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Someone could do something to hurt your family, and like I said, always to me, it doesn't make sense. Now there's people on here saying some things. If you want to ask any questions, now is the time. Part of the show, you can ask some questions to Tammy, and and go ahead and ask some questions, and she can try to answer some of these questions that you have for her.
See, I don't see any comments at all. So
you don't
there
see
is
comments, Tammy.
No, I don't see it.
For this, Tammy. The government doesn't have the right to take our guns. You don't see none of the comments?
No, I have no comment.
Questions. All right. There's some comments, questions coming up. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask Tammy some questions. She's in New York. She's a great patriot. She's awesome. That's all I have to say. You're awesome.
I'm seeing absolutely. All I see is me and you. It's just me and you in here right now. I don't see anything.
There's a question. How do you feel? Okay, they want to friend you. They want to send you a friend request. So just they'll go ahead and go ahead.
Well, my page is public. Okay,
Okay.
so anybody can follow me. Requests right now, I'm actually really not accepting any requests right now, just for kind of personal reasons right now. But it's public, so you can go in and follow me. You know, all you want. There's just some things that I kind of keep just to the friends that right now I'm just not accepting any friends.
Question: healthcare. What do you feel about healthcare?
Healthcare. Well, let me be honest, and I'll break it down for you like this. First of all, I haven't kept up lately with anything that's new, but I can tell you my opinion on it as a general opinion. I, I don't know if any of your friends or followers know. I am sick. I do suffer with Crohn's disease. I have more of a severe case of Crohn's disease. So when you talk about health insurance and you talk about health care, let me tell you, I have a big opinion about it. And it would take a heck of a lot longer than just a minute to answer this. But what I see that we need, and I'll try to break it down quite quickly. We need to have our senior citizens taken care of better. Just because they're at the end of their lives does not mean that they do not deserve the care that every single person does. We need to start being more concerned about people with autoimmune illnesses. That is a major thing that people are not paying attention to, especially in the healthcare system. We need to learn how to incorporate that in a way that is more fair and responsive to needs. I really could go on with this. I like to tie the veterans and the VA into healthcare all around. That needs to be really adjusted as well. I hope I covered a little bit for you. I can go into that more.
No. You're definitely fine. You know, one of the things that I tell all the people that are watching, please send this out, share this.
Share.
Share. Send it out to as many people as you can, because it is so important that they hear this message that you're talking about. And Tammy, I am so proud of you. I am, as a male patriot, I love to see female patriots out there doing your thing. You know the issues, and you can articulate them very well. Articulate
sometimes.
Very well. I know some guys that can't articulate things as good as you. And
thank you.
It's about men, women, all Americans, legal Americans working together, taking a stand, doing the right thing. And it's about God and country. Please share this. Please go to I'm going to push it out one more time.
The GoFundMe.
The GoFundMe.
Yep.
And please support, please give. And we're going to start June 16th. We're going to do a video. We're going to do some other things, some creative things. But we're starting June 16th. It's going to be awesome. We need the support of the people. And I just thank you, for coming on.
Look, let me tell you something. When you messaged me and then you called me, I myself was very honored. And you have to understand, like you said, we need more women. We need more women to be able to do exactly what you did for me, which was kind of just share my experiences. We don't have that enough for the women patriots. And these women, they work hard, man. I'm telling you, I know these women work hard. And I want to let everybody know, respect and love each other. Respect and love what we're doing, because whether it's healthcare or Second Amendment or schools or immigration or human trafficking, we're all working toward a better country. Respect each other. And you know what? Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
There's some great patriots, female patriots in New Jersey. One is Barbara Gonzalez. She's in Florida, but she's part of the Bayshore Tea Party. There's Nisi. She's in New Jersey.
I love Nisa. Love her.
Nisa? Oh yeah, Nisa. Yes.
Are you kidding? We're like one family. Are you kidding?
All right. Yeah, she's awesome. She
yes.
Supports the movement 110%.
Yes.
She's been at the gun rallies, and I spoke at the Second Amendment rally, and she's awesome. Awesome.
She's a worker bee.
Yes.
She is a worker bee, and those are the women I'm talking about. The ones that really do a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That nobody realizes, and I'm like. Yeah. They are the legs that we stand on. It's not just me or you, or It's all of us. And Misa's a great example of that. She is a worker bee. I
Yeah.
love her dearly.
She's all
Good.
she goes all over. She's
She does.
awesome. Yes.
She does. And she's got this.
Oh yes.
Smart.
Oh yes. So
Love her.
I thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
It's getting late, so what I'll do is I'll give you a call tomorrow, let you
Yes.
know all the details, and we'll talk in more detail on how everything is going to come together. All right.
Okay.
So
Absolutely.
I thank you for coming on the show. I thank the people that
Thank
are
you.
watching. You've been a great blessing. You've been a great
Thank you.
patriot. You're awesome. You're all that
You
and
too.
more. And you're awesome. Beautiful
Thank
people.
you. Thank you. You are
Beautiful
too. Thank you
people.
for having me. And call me tomorrow.
I will call you tomorrow.
Awesome.
God bless. Be safe.
Peace. Bye. Oh, I can't shut you off now. Now you're stuck with me.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Thank you. All right. Hey, y'all, this is the On Fire Show with your host, Daryl M.Brooks. That was Tammy Hillary Lee. And she's coming on the RV tour. I thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. You can like the On Fire Show, like me on Facebook, on Fire Tour. Please, please, people, go to the GoFundMe tour and please give. We're going to put the link out one more time. We're trying to raise by the end of the week, we're trying to raise at least another $300 to $400. So if you can give, please go to the GoFundMe tour, give today, give tonight. Excuse me. I feel like a television evangelist. You know, listen, it's about freedom. It's about education. It's about challenging the system. It's about making America great. Fighting with our president of the country. It's about fixing the educational system. It's about challenging individuals to do the right thing. It's about dealing with illegal immigration, stopping sanctuary cities, stopping sanctuary states. We have the power. People, we have the power. It's about dealing with the Second Amendment rights. Everybody, we're all Americans. All Americans should have a right to bear arms to protect themselves and do the right thing. Protect themselves, their family, their children, their property. All Americans. It's a God-given right. And I thank you all. I definitely thank you all for supporting the show, watching the show. Please give if you can tonight. Please give the RV tour. She's going to be involved. Yes, Tammy, Hillary Lee is going to be involved, and a lot of other of us, Oath Keepers, and in different groups. So please, we're standing strong. We're all Americans, and we're going to fight with our president, and we're going to try our best to lock Hillary up. Hillary Clinton, yes. Phil Murphy, all these progressive liberals, they have to go. We have to stand strong, people. All right, send you a friend request. Yes, send me a friend request. Go to the On Fire tour. Go to the On Fire show. You know, we need your support, people. Is there any questions you want to ask? Please go to the GoFundMe. If you can, please give right now. Give, support the On Fire tour. We're starting June 16th. We're going to unite. It's about us as a people. We got to challenge the system because lock her up now. Yes, lock her up now. If I could, I would. I go right. I'll have the handcuffs right there at the door. So that's a dream. We have one of them dreams. Lock her up now. But it's we have a great president. The economy is great. He's doing a great job with North Korea. He needs to get when that comes together, Nobel Peace Prize for our president. Nobel Peace Prize. And also when it comes to with illegal immigrants, Obama locked up 5 million. If Obama locked up 5 million and he was a Democrat, Trump to lock up deport 10 million. Yes, Trump, you should deport 10 million. And it's about American jobs, American first. There's nothing wrong with that thinking. America first. We're all Americans. I love my president too. He is my president. He is all of our president, and God is blessing us. And one of the things that, and I will. And so one of the things that I want to say that about us as a people, as a Christians, I quote Martin Luther King, and I think he quoted James Russell Law. He said, "True forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future, and behind the dim unknown stands God within the shadows, keeping watch above His own." God is in the shadows watching us. God is with us. God will never leave us. But we have to stand up and always, always do the right thing and believe in God, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Put God first, always. And because we're putting God first, we are strong. We'll never bow down. It's about our faith. And what did Martin Luther King said, that, and we must believe this about all of us as Americans, that we're all caught up in this great inescapable network of mutuality, tied in the single garment of destiny. And whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. And that I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. And you can never be what you ought to be unless I am what I ought to be. Then he quotes the poet John Donne and says that no man is an island. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Then he goes on to say that any man's death diminishes me because I am involved in mankind. Therefore, never sin to know whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. And this is what should be as a country, as a people. God and country, look out for each other, stand up for each other. So please support the GoFundMe because we're standing up. We're going into the inner city areas. There's too much violence, too much bad education. We stand strong together, black and white, all Americans. All Americans must come together and fight against the evilness of the liberal, left, progressive movements. We have to stand up. We have to do the right thing. We have to put God first. When we put God first, we are strong. Nothing can break us. Do you understand, people? Nothing could break us. Amen. So please support. Put it up again. The GoFundMe. Please support what we're doing. We need your support. We need the listeners, the people that are watching. Thank you for sending the friend request. We need your support. Please go to the GoFundMe and give what you can. If you can only give $10, I think the limit is $10. You can't give like $9, $8, or $5. You have to give 10 or more. So you get to see who's a part of this GoFundMe. You have to stop allowing. Yes. You get to see who's a part of this on Fire Tour. Yes, we have to stop allowing elite to pit us against each other. Yes, the leaders are putting against each other, and we have to stand up. And this is one of the things that we're doing with the RV tour. We're standing up, we're fighting, we're organizing, we're challenging our own people to wake up. We have to challenge. We can't allow the Democrats to over and the left to over and over and over again to give out the misinformation and to stand up. And yes, John Robert Carmen, message on the initial Republican Party on Fire Tour. Yes, it is. John Robert Carmen, how you doing? I know you're watching the On Fire Tour. On Fire Show, the Republican, the Constitutional Republicans out of New Jersey. Hey, John, how you doing? I'm going to invite you on. I got a few minutes. Bring John on. Hey, John, I got a minute or two or three. My phone is about to die. I think I might have about 15 seconds. I'm inviting you on. I know you're watching. I have Mr. John Robert Carmen. Are you coming on? If not, I understand. You're probably in your pajamas, relaxing, watching the game. And I've been missing the game. I got 3 shows. I have a great show tomorrow. Go to my site, the On Fire Show, or my website, or the On Fire Facebook, and you get to see. We're talking about challenging the boys getting late, challenging the sanctuary state, and Greg is going to be awesome. We're going to challenge the sanctuary state and how to challenge the sanctuary state. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Daryl.
Hey, how you doing? I figured you'd be relaxing watching the basketball game or something. But I thank you for watching. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the Yankees.
Oh, the Yankees.
I
Okay.
was watching the Yankees actually, but I got to see Tammy's your interview with Tammy, and I thought it was outstanding. It'll be a real privilege to have her with us on the On Fire tour. It's very important that she comes with us and spreads the message of the principles of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And we really need the support of all those. There's a lot of people listening to you tonight, Daryl. I see all the people that are listening and are giving positive feedback. And it's important that they support what we're trying to do in taking the message of the principles of the Declaration and the Constitution, which protects those principles, out to all the inner cities of New Jersey. And it's very important that we have the contributions and the participation of all freedom-loving, liberty-loving citizens.
Yes. All right. And I thank you. You know, my phone is at 10%, so it's about to die in a few minutes. But I thank you.
We'll talk. I'll call you tomorrow.
But I thank you for coming on.
I'll call you tomorrow. We'll talk.
You're always a blessing to come on. I thank to hear from you.
And so are you. Thank you, Daryl, for everything you do.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yes, and I thank you all for watching. I have to go, but please support the On Fire tour. It's important. He is going to be a part of this. The Constitutional Republicans and Tammy Hillary Lee, and some other individuals are going to be part of this. Oath Keepers and Lightfoots and Keith Pantheon, Oath Keeper. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be challenging because we're going into these areas where no conservatives and independents and Republicans are in these areas, haven't been, they're afraid to go in these areas. We're not. We're tired. We're tired of the lies, the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party and the liberals. We're going in there. We're going to uphold, that's right, we're going to uphold the Constitution and push the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. We're going to talk about a lot of things. So I thank you all for supporting the On Fire show. God bless, and I am out of here. I'm getting tired. I got some water to drink, and the mouth is getting dry, and I got a nice pizza down in the oven. It's in the refrigerator, but it's going into the oven. So I'm eating pizza tonight and water. And I got this whole big old gallon of water. I got to drink this every day. Yeah. See this? I'm not doing a commercial, but crystal water. Yes, and Alpine Spring Water Natural. And I gotta drink this all the night because I drink my gallon of water a day. So I thank you all for watching. God bless. Please support the On Fire tour, okay? And remember. As a Christian, what Jesus Christ said, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, pray for those who despitefully use you. He also said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the meek, so they should inherit the earth. All right? God bless. Love you. Peace. We're out. Thank you for watching.